Is the man stone cold enough even for Stone Cold? It's time for WGS-TV Reviews Monday Night Raw for the week of February 4th, 2019. Hey YouTube, are you ready for your hot tag? Because if you are, it's definitely time to warp.
Hi, I'm Robert Gibson.
I'm Ricky Morton.
We're the Rock and Roll Express.
And you're watching WGS-TV.
What's up, guys? I'm the Wrestle Gamer. Welcome back to another episode of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer. And joining me on the Raw review this week, ladies and gentlemen, you know him as the Studley Man himself, Ashley. Ashley, how you doing?
This is why I watch indie.
Yep, definitely. I agree with you. Now, one of the advertised features for Monday Night Raw this week was Stephanie McMahon inviting Becky Lynch to Raw. And you gotta believe that she's going to be featured on both shows leading all the way up to WrestleMania, just like they did with Asuka last year when she won the inaugural Women's Royal Rumble. Now, I just want to say one thing before we get this review started. For all the Lynch marks out there, to simmer down, keep your rage boners in check, and listen to what we have to say first before flying off the handle, hitting the thumbs down button, and persecuting me. But then again, this wouldn't be the first time I've been persecuted on YouTube for not jumping on the bandwagon of a certain superstar. Bork Laser! Anyway, let's talk about... Go ahead.
Let's be honest, we had emasculation, as ever,
from
Stephanie.
Anyway, let's talk about Raw. Monday Night Raw would open up with Stephanie McMahon attempting to bring out and introduce Becky Lynch, but with the man being the man that she is, she came out before Stephanie could intro her. Stephanie would then point out that Becky has been injured and needs to be cleared by WWE Medical in order to compete. Becky would then refuse, so Stephanie backed her into a corner and gave her an ultimatum. Either go see the doctor or risk being suspended. Becky still refused, so Stephanie suspended her. And then Becky Lynch would attack her. Here's the problem I have here with this, Ashley, and we talked a little bit about this on the live stream that we did during Monday Night Raw on Twitch, which is just live commentary. Nothing was shown from WWE. Just want to make that clear. But this is something that we heavily discussed, that this was just a complete rehashing of the Stone Cold and Vince McMahon angle, and as far as I'm concerned, Ash, there's no reason to do this.
She already was Stone Cold because of the way she naturally got over, despite the company wanting to book opposite. Just how it was with the Ringmaster. King of the Ring. No, another tournament, if you will. Honestly, it's just... I think they've clearly done it because they're trying to find any excuse to have Becky rest rather than being any sort of action. Sort of similar as to what they've done with Seth. Because he didn't properly show up tonight, did he?
No, he did not. But anyway, go ahead.
He's supposed to have an injury as well, and I'm guessing they want they want Becky rested as much as possible, because if it is going to be the actual main event of the pay-per-view, it needs to have a lot of time, and it really needs to be honed down to a T. If it gives Becky and Ronda more time to be able to do that, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And speaking of Ronda Rousey, backstage Becky was being escorted out until she came face to face with the Raw Women's Champion, who surprisingly didn't botch her promo and then questioned Becky's intentions of coming to Monday Night Raw. Opening match was Ronda Rousey taking on Liv Morgan. This was just a complete squash of Morgan, probably less than 5 minutes really, as Rousey locked the armbar on Morgan, forcing her to tap out. Rousey, then irate with the fans' reaction to her, got on the mic and then challenged the female War Raider of the Riot Squad, Sarah Logan, to a match to which she accepted. Remember, guys, she's married to Rowe of the War Raiders on NXT. Now, this one wasn't as much of a burial that the other match with Logan was, actually, but simply there was just no doubt in my mind that Rousey was going over.
Yeah. It's... I don't know what to say, really.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes...
It sort of was... Well, we've got to put Ronda over somehow in the match. So we'll just have her squash the two people that are actually going to be part of the Elimination Chamber. Tease Ruby for somewhere down the line, probably Elimination Chamber.
But here's the question now, with the way they worked it. Is the Riot Squad turning face?
Who knows? Because, you know, the crowd are booing, but it's like, no, they actually like Ronda. It's like, I don't think that's how it works, Chris.
No, not at all. Up next, it was a Four Corners tag team match with the winners becoming the new #1 contenders for the Raw tag team titles, as it was Heavy Machinery, Lucha House Party, The Revival, and B-Team. $5 to anyone who can tell me right off the bat who the Raw tag team champions are. That's how memorable the reign between Bobby Roode and Chad Gable are. Because you actually have to remember, you actually have to think, you know, who are the Raw tag team? Oh yeah, it's Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. And at first, when it comes to this match, the commentary team were selling the match as an elimination match, you know, with references to the Four Corners tag team match from SmackDown Live this past week. But apparently, I was mistaken. Yes, I am human. I can make mistakes. But anyway, the finish of the match was the Revival hitting the Shatter machine on Bo Dallas to pick up the win. And I guess actually now, you know, does that, you know, flutter away the rumors of the Revival going to AEW?
I don't know whether they were going to AEW, but I still think that they could be. Well, whether WWE grant them a release, I think it'd be more likely you'd have a Neville hostage situation.
To a degree.
But I'd say I think they might actually be staying, because if they're actually being given chances, then of course, I might as well bring this up here. Canada got an advert listing that not directly after, but the Raw after WrestleMania weekend and SmackDown, which are going to be in Montreal, are being listed on their television as international superstar shake-up shows. As in, that's where people will be moving brands.
And more call-ups, possibly, too.
As well. But with that respect, I honestly think, considering the way that, you know, if we take out Shane and Miz and everything, and okay, there's probably other teams that would have to go. If you look at it at the minute, Usos and New Day, if you had a Revival with them, that seems like something tasty.
Definitely.
So I'd like to see them stick around.
But something that wasn't tasty, that kind of left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. Backstage, Zack Ryder was with Kurt Hawkins, and he was trying to lift his spirits, but Hawkins kept insisting that Ryder shouldn't even be tagging with him anymore. I like how Ryder did bring up the fact that last week on the name graphic they misspelled it, but he reaffirms with Hawkins that they were going to end his losing streak together. Actually, I'm still trying to figure out in my head what in the hell that was all about.
I think it's building towards them two getting the tag titles probably at WrestleMania.
Maybe. I mean, when Zack Ryder won the Intercontinental Championship in that ladder match.
Yeah, but they are Jersey guys.
Ooh.
They are Long Island guys, so you know. I honestly think that that's the angle that they're going. But the one thing I will give credit to, clearly they watched Botchamania. Because Zach brought up, they didn't even spell my name right. They spelled it Z-A-C-K-H. What he meant, of course, is Z-A-C-H. But afterwards, when he was just like, you know, we won't be forgotten, and like clearly ad-libbed, bloody Ryder goes, yeah, I can't even spell my name correctly, because he realizes that he screwed up about a minute beforehand.
Hell yeah.
That's genius. Give this man a pay raise.
Yep, he recognized his own botch and worked it into the promo. Up next, it was Kurt Angle out there, and the way he was directing his promo, it would lead you to believe that it was he was retiring from the ring. But before Angle could even finish his thought about Father Time being an unbeatable opponent, out would come Baron Corbin to a chorus of boos and told Angle that this should have been the speech he gave at his Hall of Fame induction over 2 years ago and should have never returned to WWE. Angle, infuriated with Corbin's comments, would then challenge him to get in the ring, and then out would come the Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre, who basically told everyone to snap a picture of Angle because they were never going to see him again. But before Corbin and McIntyre could carry out their threat, here would come the monster among men, Braun Strowman, to the aid of the WWE Hall of Famer, who sent them running, which basically set up the main event for tonight, being the tag team match. Actually, I gotta say, when you were first watching that, you gotta figure that it almost felt like it was a retirement speech.
Yeah, I think that's what they were trying to hint. But the problem is, with like these people already leaving and quitting and whatever, it's honestly the case of they're teasing it, but I don't think it's coming just yet. I think given that he is, you know, a couple of months over 50, it's coming sooner rather than later.
Yep.
When? Only time will tell.
Well, up next, it was Sasha Banks and Bayley taking on Alicia Fox and Nikki Cross in an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. But before the match could start, Fox and Cross would proceed to blindside and attack the Boston Hug Connection. And first off, Cross is a heel or a face? Can anyone answer that question? That's what I would like to know right now. Is Nikki Cross a heel or a face?
Everything.
Everything. Yep. But here how this is what I was thinking was going to go down, and this is how WWE. This is what I thought WWE would work it, which would be a somewhat feasible scenario. Bear with me on this one. WWE would declare a no contest and just move Fox and Cross to the chamber match, but instead they went ahead and with the match, giving Banks and Bayley a major obstacle to overcome if they wanted to make it to the chamber. Fox and Cross pretty much had the advantage for the duration of the match until Cross pretty much got herself posted on the outside, and then out of nowhere, no, it wasn't an RKO, no, none of those memes. It was Bayley with a schoolgirl pin with a bridge on Alicia to pick up the win for her team as Sasha and Bayley advanced to the Elimination Chamber. I gotta say, actually, with the way that they started out in this match, they had to find some way to plant, I guess, maybe a little bit of doubt into the minds of fans of Banks and Bayley going over with the way they did it. I gotta say, thinking back on it, it was a pretty smart move to try to do that, to give really Cross and Alicia that big of an advantage, and Bayley and Banks that obstacle that they had to overcome.
Yeah, but at the same time, you sort of just knew.
Yeah.
Really, it's like the knock-up team versus the team which is probably going to win in the first place. It's just like I don't get it. Even if you take out the fact that apparently the posters for the local area leaked saying that they were going to be in the match.
Yeah.
Along with apparently Naomi and Carmella, so reasons. Also, I do love the fact that on SmackDown, you just declare.
Yeah.
Don't have a qualifying match. You're just in.
Exactly, which was something we talked about on the SmackDown Live review from last week. You know, you can just declare. The SmackDown women don't have to have qualifying matches. All they have to do is just declare, and they're in the match. However, the Raw women have to have qualifying matches. See what I'm saying? But
things that don't make sense.
Speaking of things that don't make sense, Elias and Jeff Jarrett. First off, why? That's all I want to know right now, actually, is why. What else can we say but why?
Part rhetorical question, but then, of course, you know, it has the worrying connotations, given that there were some rumors from people that know the stuff that goes backstage. Which I believe wasn't via Papa Dave this time.
Mm-hmm.
Via somebody else, but I can't remember the source. But the word is basically that if this didn't go down well with the crowd, in terms of reaction and whatever, they're giving up on Elias altogether.
Sad thing is...
How the hell?
Yeah.
How the shit does it stand a fucking chance with anything? With a guy that hasn't been on Raw in over 19 years, who's part of creative, and a guy who's part of SmackDown's creative, putting themselves over rather than the new talent.
Can I mention really quickly? Can I mention really quickly? I love how Elias made mention of that and took a jab at Road Dogg with that SmackDown comment. I love that. I love that.
The problem is that was put in there to deal with the smarks like you and me. Because in hindsight, it's just like it's still trying to put Road Dogg over, because it's involving Road Dogg. It's not just about Elias. You know, he did the whole, you know, there's one truth, WWE stands for Walk with Elias. That crowd was still chanting it massively.
So I just don't understand why WWE doesn't see it.
By the end of the whole shit, when we had the guitar shenanigans and everything, the crowd were booing Double J and RD, and not Elias.
The sad fact about this match is what happened. The worst thing anybody in professional wrestling can tell you, the worst thing that could ever happen to him when you're working in the middle of a match is for the crowd to basically not give a shit. And that's basically what happened. The crowd did not give a flying shit about this match with Elias and Jarrett. There was no pop for Jarrett when he was supposed to be making his big comeback, supposed to be the face in this angle, and there was no pop from the crowd for Jeff Jarrett. So the sad truth is, go ahead.
Keep in mind as well, what else did people want to see on this show? Becky Lynch, they saw that. Seth Rollins, he wasn't on the show because they'd already established that a few minutes earlier because of the Brock video package. So who else were they there to fucking see? No one.
Yeah, you did bring up an interesting point.
For maybe 2 and a bit hours, up to 2.5, let's say. There's sod all there. Of course they're going to be bored.
Makes me wonder if I should even bother going to Monday Night Raw on February 18th at the Cajun Dome. And no, that wasn't a paid advertisement or anything like that. But anyway, backstage, it looked like... Go ahead.
I'm trying to look. considering it's after Elimination Chamber, I'd be intrigued to see what happens with that show.
Backstage, it looked like Natalya was ignoring Dana Brooke as she was trying to apologize for last week, but then got angry and stormed off saying that she was going to go to the McMahons to demand a match, when in fact Natalya had her earbuds in her ears. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Ashley, why are they doing this?
Because I swear the angle seems to be that Dana Brooke's going.
Maybe.
That's the way it sort of feels like. It's like, you know, I'll beat you to prove to you to show that I belong here.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, she's sort of been out of the loop anyway. She was brought up too early. She was in that weird gimmick with Charlotte, which then dissipated after a few months. And then she's just been mainly on Main Event, doing random shit.
We can't forget her little time in Titus Worldwide.
Oh no, yeah, we randomly put her in that, and then that just ended. There's no actual consistency. Oh my god, there was even less consistency. Apparently the reason Natalya was on her earbuds, she was in a match with Lacey Evans on Main Event.
Oh. Well,
no way Jose was on the show as well. Murdering people, by the way.
Oh, God. Up next, it was Finn Balor, who was supposed to take on the almighty Bobby Lashley, which is what we thought at first, but Lashley said Balor wasn't good enough for an Intercontinental Championship match, and that he would take on Lio Rush, and if Balor entertained Lashley, then he would consider granting him a championship match. Now, with Balor being injured with his ribs, Rush would take it to the leader of the Balor Club and have a quick advantage, that is, until Lashley would get himself barred from ringside due to interference. The finish of the match was Balor hitting the coup de grace on the Man of the Hour to pick up the win, and made a hasty exit as the Intercontinental Champion rushed to the ring to try to attack him. First off, if we thought Ronda Rousey was bad at cutting promos, what in the hell was that from Bobby Lashley? I mean,
you had a title match. Great pause there, guys.
And there was really, first off, he didn't even try to make the promo believable. He didn't even try. He was just like, these are my lines, I'm gonna say it. You had a title match, but I don't think you're good enough for a title match. And that was the extent of Lashley's promo. He did not put any work into making it a believable promo. When it comes to Ronda Rousey's promo, which again, like I said, I'm making the comparison to, yes, she does have botches, but she has the energy. She has the feel of it. She's trying to make the promo believable. Lashley couldn't give two fucks about his promo. Why, I don't know. This is pretty much, I think, why they have Lio Rush, which is probably why Lio Rush has basically been the mouthpiece for Bobby Lashley right now on Monday Night Raw. Because Lashley can't fucking sell a promo to save his life. Neither can Brock Lesnar for that matter, but I'll save that for another video and another time. And speaking of that, Paige would make her presence known to the crowd as she promoted the trailer for her movie, Fighting with Her Family, I believe it's called.
Fighting with My Family.
Fighting with My Family. And if I go see the movie, I'll review it here on the channel. I'm pretty sure, Ashley, that you're going to be going to see the movie too, right?
I'm hoping to. It's supposed to be releasing here March 1st, but there's the possibility I might be seeing it early, but that depends on whether the mystery film is that mystery film. But then, the thing to note about this is, Paige comes out and goes, I've got my film coming out, here's the trailer, and it's like, it's just the same trailer you've been showing endlessly on your programming for the last 3 weeks. And then you went to commercial. The purpose was... What?
Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you even if I tried. Well, following that, it was time for a moment of bliss. And Alexa had as her guest EC3, who apparently has been a mute person ever since he made his appearance on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. And it also looked like Alexa was hitting on him hardcore. But before EC3 could even utter a sound, out would come Nia Jax and Tamina, as Nia was basically doing her job as a heel in WWE, and that's gaining heat from the crowd and trying to steal the thunder once again. That is until Dean Ambrose made his presence known with a message for Nia and pertains to what happened with those two last week. If you don't remember, Nia sneak attacking Dean Ambrose and throwing him out of the ring. Dean's message was basically for her to stay away from him, and something about raw sexual magnetism or something like that. Anyway, also I wonder, Ash, right now if EC1 and EC2 are trending right now on social media.
No.
Aww.
They're not. Elias is actually trending the highest. It's interesting.
Really?
People are trying to save it. WrestleMania, Dean, Sasha, Stephanie, Amber. Oh, Becky's now top trending.
Yeah.
That's well, that seems to be all over the place. But for quite a time, it was actually Elias, which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Then perhaps that makes sense. But it's just this whole thing. The crowd are not gonna be invested in it because it started off like it was going to be the start of one of these Brazzers parodies. Then again, there's some famous clips on YouTube where they basically show the stuff which isn't porn. Just like some of it is like 80s stuff. Like there's one where Lisa Ann's supposed to be like a Baywatch, lifeguard person, and the guy's just relaxing in sort of his hot tub, and she's like, "Oh, get out of the pool, you might drown." And it's just done in such a sort of cheesy 80s way, and it was the same thing. It was just like, you've got a good body, you've got a good talent, and I've heard you've got a massive bank account. It's just like, word. Bring on all the Brazzers random shit that's gonna come from this.
Knowing social media.
Nia was doing
Go ahead.
Nia was doing like a fucking a cow on heat that doesn't know what it's doing. It's like a rutting stag, like I don't know why that happens. And Tamina's there for no fuck. Then of course they tease the whole Dean intergender with Nia stuff again. Which then leads into EC3 attacking Dean, and so the rumored planned WrestleMania match, I guess, starts early. And to be honest, is all this affected by the announcement, in inverted commas, whether it's true or not, of Dean going? Because it's like, are the crowd going to care about a guy who, and I hate you might not like the sound of this, really, but there's a lot of people that watch Raw that have no fucking clue about what NXT is.
I know, and that's a sad thing too, because I personally believe they're missing out on a great product, because NXT consistently puts out great shows, and they have a phenomenal talent. What?
Spoilers: Billy hasn't even seen Halftime Heat yet.
Well, that's because I was actually doing work for Pro Wrestling 225 yesterday.
No, but it's like, it's on the network, And I know you've got the network, so it's there for you to catch up sooner rather than later. Because, you know, aside from the bowl of soup, and all that, because you can't say the other word, because then NFL goes, "We own your ass," and we don't need any more of that here on the tubes of you. But you know, it's a guy that most people probably don't know who he is, and they probably don't remember Derek Bateman from like a decade ago. Was it a decade ago? Or was it 5? No, it might have been 5 years ago, wasn't it? NXT Redemption and all that.
No, wasn't he in? Wasn't he in like? For some? No, that's somebody else I'm thinking about.
He was in NXT, I think, season 4, and then was also in the Redemption one, which was the last one.
Yeah.
Before it went to sort of being, you know, basically FCW, and then transferred over to being a weekly thing.
Exactly.
Rather than sort of a talent contest.
Which I'm still glad to this day that they did that made that transition.
Yeah, but as I say, it's, you know, it's a guy that's been there, and many people probably don't recognise from the previous time, against the guy who, because people will just take, because WWE said it's gospel, it can't be a word, but a guy that WWE has literally told us has got 9 weeks left before he's leaving. So why should they be invested? Also, where the hell would the people have their piss break? Because all the women's stuff was earlier on in the stuff. Where's the chance for them to just not give a shit about something and sort of get a chance to rest and get ready for the next sort of big match? There wasn't really.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I'm going to restate the obvious again. I am a huge fan of NXT. NXT is an amazing brand with great talent, great commentary, and overall really good shows. I have yet to see an NXT show that has failed to deliver on a good, quality, consistent program, because that's what NXT brings. However, on Raw and SmackDown, you don't exactly have that guarantee. But anyway, speaking of Raw, time for the main event. It was Braun Strowman teaming up with Kurt Angle to take on the team of Baron Corbin. I'm saving that for the end, Ash. No, I'm saving that for the end, Ash. I'm saving that for the end. I'm saving that for the end.
No. We need to bring up the other thing if it's that.
Mojo Rawley.
Why Charlie Caruso was being such a bitch to be.
I never really picked up on it, if I'm honest. You know, I just, looked at it and just kind of perceived it as her interviewing people and asking the tough questions. I didn't really perceive it. But then again, that's just from my point of view. I didn't really perceive it as her being heelish.
When Apollo was being asked, why are you so behind Kurt? And it's just like, he's Kurt Angle. He's done a lot in this business, and he keeps losing. It's just like, why didn't you make this comment at Kurt Hawkins at any point? It's the same logic, and then they had that random teaser that Apollo Crews what was happening with bloody Razor, or was it?
It's right.
One of the officers.
No, I believe Razor is the one that was injured, and I think it was Akins that was there. I believe I would have to go. I would have to go back and check. I know at least one of them was injured.
That went nowhere, but then, like, backstage before that, she's interviewing Kurt. Also, randomly for that Apollo one, she wasn't allowed on screen.
No, I stand corrected. From notes I just looked at, that was Razor, not Akins that was backstage. Akins is the one that's injured.
then she's interviewing Kurt right for this main event, and she's like, what's your thoughts going into this, given that you keep losing to these? And it's like what to say, because she's sort of like basically saying, because you're going to announce that you were retiring, right? Or sort of like words to that effect, applying that, and it's just like, why are we doing this sort of like truthful investigative journalist shit when it's already been tried and tested that it works, that they're just dumb and asking, you know, stupid questions? In essence, she was asking stupid questions in a distant manner rather than a nonsense manner, like we've seen from us in the past few months. It was just like, you know, here's somebody who's basically insulting a guy that's been wrestling for what, 20 years, give or take. Hell, over 20 if you include his actual Olympic medals days.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't really seen a we didn't even really get it in the Attitude Era. Cole and Coachman and Kevin Kelly and all that, Lillian, and they played it straight. They didn't try and be a sort of heelish character or anything like that. So that left me sort of perplexed as to why they were doing that. And then when we got to the main event, I understood why they did it. It was, oh look, it's a boring main event. Who fucking...
Okay, folks, I do apologize. We are having a little bit of a connection issue with the Discord, with the Studley Band. Naturally, we're going to keep trying our best to keep him here in the review for this week. As far as the main event match is concerned, the majority of it was Corbin and McIntyre taking turns trying to beat down and humiliate Kurt Angle, with Strowman having short spurts of offense until Strowman would be the one in dire straits and would make the hot tag to Angle. Strowman, however, did what he does best, and that's run people over like a Mack truck. However, the finish of the match kind of leaves me wondering just what in the blue fuck are they doing over there, as Strowman would get himself disqualified for striking Corbin when he wasn't the legal man. So it was okay for Lashley to interfere in the match earlier and not get disqualified, but Strowman would land one punch on Corbin when he wasn't the legal man, and the ref DQs him. Seriously. What the fuck, WWE? Seriously. Anyway, Corbin and... Well, go ahead, Ashley.
Double standard.
Yeah, that's the only thing you can say is double standards. Exactly. Anyway, Corbin and McIntyre were looking to put away Angle like they did Strowman last week. That is, until the Monster Among Men would return and make them pay by chokeslamming the both of them onto the steel steps that they themselves brought into the ring. Actually, I'm left wondering, like I said, I've watched wrestling for a long time. I've never seen a finish like that.
Yeah, it was weird as well. Just there had to be a sort of few finishes, because you know, we're trying to be like the old wrestling, in which there needs to be DQs. Then at the same time, it's like, you know, that weird bit when Drew just sort of like skipped round the and the bit where it looked Braun's drive might have kept Baron Corbin's head, and then of course, you know, heels have to look strong with heat, for God's sake. No half time heat, just general heat.
So with all this heat going around, oh god. With all the heat and the beef going around, Raw would end the show for the week right here. So let's get to overall score and thoughts. Raw had a strong start with the Becky-Stephanie angle, but I guess the Lynch marks out there who drink her Kool-Aid just don't see that it was just a rehashing of the Vince Stone Cold rivalry. I sincerely hope the nostalgia act of Double J and Road Dogg are done so you can actually start putting over your fucking talent. Jeez, what's going to happen with Elias now? The Four Corners tag team match was okay, but I have never, and I mean never, saw a finish like it was for the main event, which is why I am giving it both the best and worst match of the night. I watched wrestling for over 30 years, and I have never seen a referee disqualify someone for striking them when they weren't the legal man. It's because of that fucked up finish that I give it both the best and worst match of the night. Overall match content was good for it being the main event, but the ending was incredibly stupid. Also, a special what the fuck moment of the night, going to whatever the hell that segment was with Mojo Rawley. And I will give $3 to anyone in the comments who can actually decipher whatever the fuck that segment was. Now, as we go over to Ashley, again, we do apologize. We're having a little bit of a tech issue with Discord at the moment. But Ashley, over to you, as best as you can, your overall score and thoughts on Raw this week.
In all honesty, if it's out of 5, it has to be a 2. Despite like how good that.
Oh, my overall score is a 3, by the way. My overall score is a 3. I just realized I did not give my overall score. Go ahead.
I honestly have to go with a 2 because the first promo bit with Becky was just like real. Yes, it is a rehash of Stone Cold, which we're grimacing about, but it's dragging the storyline into something that it didn't need because it already had enough of the natural stuff, and then it's sort of seeming to hint that Stephanie's aligning herself now with Ronda, despite the history there. Because I guess the McMahons aren't going to be part of anything, despite the fact Shane's one of the tag team champions. But then, like, from the tag match didn't make any sense. Nia and her contribution sort of was negligible and anything like that. And the Ronda matches were just squash matches to make her look good and to send the fans home happy because they saw not 1 but 2 Ronda matches, which admittedly the Sarah Logan one was what can you do? But like before a tag thing, it was nice to see Rival given a chance, but then at the same time that means it's like the 3rd time that's happened, and it's just the Kurt stuff. I literally have called or a variant of it happening. The Elias Jeff Jarrett thing was nice, and let's say what bloody epitomized it probably the most. It's the moment when Jeff Jarrett smashed the guitar on Elias's back, and the guitar didn't even.
Now that I think about it, I never really saw the guitar smash. Like usually when you see someone smash someone with a guitar, you would see it break into pieces, and we did not see that with Jeff Jarrett's guitar hit.
It didn't even break into multiple pieces. It literally stayed as it was. So the whole Balor Bobby Lashley thing is clearly filler for what I'm thinking is the return of Kevin Owens to get revenge on Bobby for injuring him. EC3 looks like a dork because never is allowed to speak. Dean looks like a dork because, you know, he's now the City Master. Despite the fact EC1 and EC2 nearly sort of saved it. But the fact that it was over in, what, 2.5 minutes? And then just like the standard sort of... Okay, the sort of... The heels got the heat and the faces did sort of make the save, and, you know, stood tall eventually in the end. But it's more a case of why is Drew in this program? He should. I know why he can't be in the title picture immediately because they need the belt to go on set. But I just feel him with Corbin, who I've never really been a fan of, even in his time in NXT. Despite the fact that if you look at like the behind-the-scenes stuff, when he's not Baron Corbin and he's just like himself, he's actually normal and pretty likable. The storyline, the gimmick that he's got is just bad. Strowman just being in this sort of limbo, and then Kurt being Kurt. It's, you know,
well, yeah.
It just feels like nothing. You know, they said things would change. It's a new era. We're in control. I'm pretty sure we didn't ask for most of this shit.
Well, anyway, guys, that's been our thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week. We want to know from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw. What were your overall scores, and what are your thoughts on Monday Night Raw? And again, can anyone please decipher whatever the fuck happened with Mojo Rawley? Can anyone please explain that to me? Please, I'll be looking in the comment section below. And if you guys like this video, make sure you slam that like button. Like a champ, and if you guys want to see more wrestling talk with awesome gameplays right here on the channel, you know the two ways you got to do it. You got to leg drop the subscribe button and hit that bell icon to turn on notifications so that way you guys will never miss out on another video right here on my channel. So for the Studly Man Ashley, I'm your friendly neighborhood wrestle gamer, reminding all of you guys out there to just stay awesome. Bye, guys!